Hey there, folks. No pre-roll ad on this week's episode if you are listening to the podcast version. Here's the thing. We don't make a lot of money on ads. We are 2 months into the show. We've had a fantastic response so far, and I think we've made a grand total of $1.40. So not really funding the cost of microphones and cameras and hard drives and subscriptions to software that we need to produce the show, let alone hiring other editors and artists to help contribute and take off some of my workload to keep us on track and ahead of the curve and be able to do some more exciting, broader productions. So here's what I'm thinking. We have a brand new Patreon that we've established exclusively to support the Nyx Archive. If you sign up there for as little as $3 a month, it'll help us fund everything that I just mentioned. If you go up from there, you can get access to early episodes. Right now, they come out as soon as I'm done. If we had another editor working, we could potentially get a week or two ahead of our backlog, which would be amazing for me personally. You can also get access to The Day's End, our Talkback After Show. You might have heard some of the episodes already that I've posted to the main feed as like a demonstration of what's on there. We post exclusive artworks on the Patreon from time to time. Going forward, we would love to do some like Q&A stuff or some fan-created ideas that make their way into the show. We've talked about potentially answering questions on the Talkback After Show that come from patrons, all that kind of thing. And we do have a shout-out tier if you are interested. We're still kind of working through what we pre-recorded at this stage, but we are going to be shouting out patrons who subscribe to that tier at the end of every episode. So if you're interested in that, that would be great. If we get up to 10 patrons, that's all I'm shooting for is 10 monthly patrons at any level, I am willing to completely remove all pre-roll ads from the podcast version of the show. YouTube's a little different. I don't control it as tightly. Right now, we shouldn't have any ads on YouTube. We're not a monetized channel. Once we do, I don't know what controls I actually have over where they go, but I will attempt to keep to the same promise of no pre-roll ads on there as well. I would much rather fund this show through the support of our actual fans and sponsors like Questline VTT and Monument Studios, other creators who are doing cool things in the RPG space that I can personally vouch for as things that I have either used for Relict or the Nyx Archive already, and would rather promote them than have random ads that are targeted to you based on whatever the ad algorithm decides. I don't like that. I don't like having that little control over it. But since Relict is a free product and making a show is not free, we got to do something. So 10 patrons is what we're shooting for. If you can help us get there, that would be amazing. And I think that would be better for everybody. Anyways, enough out of me. Let's get back to your regularly scheduled adventure. Hello and welcome back to the Nyx Archive. I, as always, am your game master and comfort voice, CD Corrigan. Hey, how we doing? As always, I am joined, of course, by the lovely Miss Maddie Hammond.
Hello, everyone. I'm playing Farah.
And Miss Marissa Montero.
Skinkamarinkydinky-doo right here.
I was like, what's she gonna do? Every single time. Before we jump into the episode here today, folks, we do have to talk to you about an issue that is near and dear to the Nyx Archive family here. Did you know that for just $1 a month, you can contribute to the Nyx Archive Patreon, and in doing so, ensure that the Marissas of the world do not have to roll their dice into used yogurt containers anymore? You can do that. It's within your power.
It's all I have.
Of course, if you contribute more than that, you can get access to early access episodes and exclusive artwork. And what the hell were our other tiers? We got a shout out tier now. We're gonna start doing shout outs and everything. This is really fun. This is actually the first episode we are recording since episode 1 released to the public. So that'll give you an idea of how far ahead we do these things. And it's been really wild. We've gotten some great feedback and a couple of super fans. It's been really cool. But there's places you can support us, find us, get on the Patreon, and you can talk to us, and that'll be a thing. We'll get all parasocial about it, and that'd be fun. Anyways, enough out of me. We are going to get back into our story. The last time we met up with the ladies here, they split up. We split the party. Farah, of course, trying to cure her rattled affliction, found her way over to the Temple of the Thaw and found a little faith, made a little contribution, got some healing that was delayed slightly and a little bit randomized, but worked out in her favor. And just before she left, she got taken into interrogation by the cops. Meanwhile, across town, a good old Skink went to check out the site of Roland's financial ruin and walked away with a prized firearm. After which time she promptly went outside and shot at a bear.
I didn't shoot at the bear, okay? I shot at the mountains, and then the bear came at me. The bear came at me. I know how
well you rolled, and I think you can't prove that you didn't shoot at the bear.
Okay.
I just need to remind people that that bear, she used a squirrel carcass.
Yes, she
did. To
did
distract the bear.
She did, in fact, sacrifice Chippy, the undead chipmunk, who, reminder, has no thoughts, free will, or feelings of his own. Or had, rather, because he was sicked on an enraged scruff bear.
Yeah, and if we remember, it really had no effect. It wasn't until I got a shadow bear.
Genuinely an excellent combination of abilities from the Necromancer and Shadow Mage class. We did discuss that, I believe, in the after show, which is also available on the Patreon. Yeah. Moving on.
But I will for sure be looking for another little critter to replace Chippy.
You do have one small carcass still in your Necromancer's bag.
Sure do. Don't think I forgot it.
And a skeleton bottle. Let's not forget that either.
Yeah. They like to have friends. They're better in pairs.
Alrighty, well, of course, as is tradition on the Nyx Archive, we did end that episode with a hot centaur knocking on their hotel room door. This time, however, it was not, in fact, Orlo. It was Tula, Orlo's sister. She turned Russian there for a moment. That wasn't intentional. I only know like 2 accents, so y'all are gonna have to get used to that. I'm trying. We're gonna pick it up right back there. Skink, did you slam the door in Tula's face?
I'm gonna say
3, 2, 1.
No, I didn't, because I learned my lesson from last time.
Okay. Hello, tiny people. I am Tula. I am Orlo's sister. He says you maybe have job. I'm going Russian again. Why am I doing that?
I don't know. That sounds like this is a skill issue.
100% it is. Listen, I can't be good at everything.
But anyway,
I'm gonna look over at Skink and just be like nod, yeah, sure.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm just looking back at Farah, what? How does this keep happening to us? And then I'm gonna look all the way up at Tula and say, "Come quietly." And then I open the door enough to make room for Tula to come in.
She goes, "Very well." And clunk, 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 clunk. A Clydesdale is now taking up the vast majority of your bedroom. She is a large creature. This is a small room. You two are basically standing on the beds while she stands in the middle and looks between you two and goes, "Hello."
And then, so Skink shut the door and immediately goes, "Who knows you're here?"
I think Orlo knows I am here. I'm trying with the accent. Orlo knows I am here. Maybe some people downstairs saw me come in.
Wait, I just got an idea for your accent. Can you channel Bjork?
It is crazy how much you think I know Bjork. So Orlo knows, and maybe some folks downstairs, they see me come up to talk to Tiny Goblin and Metal Woman, because I ask where Tiny Goblin and Metal Woman who know Orlo are. And then the people tell me you are here, and I knock, and that is true.
Okay, that seems fine. That seems safe.
Yeah.
I look over at Farah, where do we start?
Well, we're planning on going on a flake expedition. Would you be interested in helping with that?
I can assist with flake expedition. Orlo tells me he make much money, and then it explode. That is bad.
That does seem like what happened, but we're hoping our plans don't include an explosion.
Good.
So, I think we would, Skink, correct me if I'm wrong, I think we would really only want 2 people. Orlo and Tula, if you're up for it.
Yeah.
Hiring centaurs is smart. We do not require extra transportation.
That makes sense.
Yes.
It does make sense.
We are half horse.
Yes.
Right.
I was considering inviting Orlo earlier. So double Orlo. How could that
Orlo
be bad?
also needs money. Yes, he will come. I will tell him he will come. He does not know.
Okay, we do
and
probably
then Skink sort of squints her eyes and does like one of those looks like, let's see if you're going to pick up what I'm putting down. And I say to Tula, our operation is going to be financed by Lady Sive.
Tula does not know who this is.
Oh, okay.
We might have you meet our patron before we go.
This is fine. Tula must explain terms. Tula
has terms. Okay.
Tula has terms. Tula will walk. Tula will fight. Tula will smush and carry. Tula does not dig. We find flakes. Tula will guard. You dig. I do not dig. You load flakes on Tula. This is fine.
That's fine with me. I mean, imagine it's really hard to like bend down. You're pretty tall.
It's very bad for lower back.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yes. Many centaurs engage in mining. Horrible lumbar problems.
Oh, man.
Tula is very concerned about spinal health. Centaurs, mostly spine. You don't think about it.
It's true.
Little
It's kind of like a
people.
snake.
We call you one rib cage people. You don't think about it. We have so much ribs.
So many.
Skink, as a necromancer, has oddly thought about it a lot.
Skink's like, I can make so many golems out of
Skink's
you.
like, you have so many bones in your body.
Why is Goblin drooling at Tula?
And Skink's
No
just
reason.
like, I've definitely never thought about how many bones you have.
Tula has dealt with this reaction many times, and she turns and really tries to turn in the room, and she puts a hand on Skink's shoulder, which the hand is like the size of your head, right? Just puts a hand on your shoulder, goes, Tula thinks you are a very nice little green woman. Tula will keep this professional relationship. You must control your feelings for Tula.
Strictly professional.
Stop
says
drooling.
Skink in a strained voice. Strictly professional.
Good. This is understood. These are also terms.
And then I look into it. I just go.
Additional term. I have to tell with tiny people sometimes. No one will ride Tula.
That's fair.
Sometimes you may ride Orlo. He does not know this, but I will tell him.
Okay. We are acquiring equipment so that we won't have to ride anybody.
Good.
Yeah, we were gonna get a Barrett to carry us on a sled.
We only believe in consensual rides.
Consent is important. You do not have my consent. It is good you checked.
Skink feels like oddly red at this moment. You know,
Goblin has turned purple.
Not green anymore.
Tula proposes this. We will all sleep separately. But we will all sleep tonight. Tomorrow, breakfast, we meet. We see your patron, yes?
Yes, that sounds
Great.
good. We were considering leaving tomorrow, but we might, if we see the patron tomorrow, we might leave the day after.
Yes, will not take much time, no? Maybe you tell us when you need.
We have to figure some things out. We will let you know.
Okay.
But it will be in the next 48 hours that we plan to leave.
Okay, we sleep here. We see you at breakfast. Now, the goblin woman has closed the door on Tula. Tula cannot reach the door from here. There is not enough room in this room to turn around. Would the goblin woman or the meta woman please crawl under Tula and open the door?
Skink is like feeling like maybe I just shouldn't talk anymore, and just scrambles over to the door. It was like I'm not allowed to look at anything except the doorknob right now. I'm just gonna scrambling to the door, opens it, and just it does that thing where like you open it and you just stand next to the door without looking at anything.
So Tula kind of tries to look over her shoulder, and I think, Farah, you can go ahead and make a knowledge check if you want.
Okay. Ooh. That is a 14.
14 is really good. Yeah, it looks like she actually does have some spine problems. Because she can't quite turn all the way around, and she just goes, this is difficult. And then she pulls from a little strap around her neck, pulls a tiny little jingle bell, and just sort of rings it over her shoulder as she backs up.
Cute. That's the cutest thing I've ever heard.
Tula is coming.
It's like a centaur with arthritis. Like, what happened? This poor person.
Why do I love her?
Well, maybe you'll find out.
Wow.
Aww.
Wow.
She just ding, 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 ding. I am backing up. I cannot see you. It is not my problem if I squish you. I have Belle.
Belle. Wow.
Too fun.
Things
and
that
the
I
door.
never thought I would visualize in my life.
Right? I love it.
Oh my god.
Incredible.
Oh, she might be my favorite NPC, even if I can't get her voice right most of the time.
You've been doing pretty well. You've been pretty consistent.
I had to get into it. She was definitely Russian in the first scene, but that's okay.
Yeah. You found it. You found it.
Tula got there. I'm channeling Taika Waititi is what I'm doing.
Oh, I like him.
Yeah, he's good. Anyways. The door closes and you guys are back reunited in your room for the night.
I look at Farah and I go, I wasn't gonna ride her.
It's fine. I know it's fine. She knows. She just I don't know. See, I know you, and I know that you were salivating over the bones. She doesn't know that.
Okay. She made me feel really weird.
As you guys are standing there talking, you hear a little on your door.
I look at Farah and I'm like, what the fuck?
We have never been this popular.
No, something's wrong. What did we do? What have we done to deserve this?
I think it's because we agreed to go on an expedition. All right, I'm going to open the door.
Okay. Yeah, you
Farah goes around, opens the door.
You look out to see a horse. No. You see nothing. And then you look down and you see Pip. And he hops his way into the room. And you see he has got in his beak, firmly clutching a long white feather.
Pip, where did you get that? What have you been? And then I look at Farah and go, I thought he was with you.
He was supposed to be with me. I don't know what happened.
Mother.
I lost our child.
And then,
oh no.
All right, I go.
Totally didn't go rogue because the DM forgot to say anything from his voice last episode.
I go to Pip and I ask. I put my hand out to ask if I can look at the feather.
He kind of.
And I say, I'll give it back. All
right.
So I take it and I look at it. And Chris, tell me what I see. How long is this feather?
It's definitely not Pip's. It is significantly longer than his. Looks like it's from a bigger bird.
Mm-hmm.
You can make a check about learning more. It'd be a knowledge check. We're going to say, all right, you tell me how, and Farah, if you want to get in on this, let me know. How bird savvy are you?
Considering, I don't know. I don't feel like Farah is Farah has weirdly high knowledge checks. I feel like at this point we've established that she's well read. So I'm going to say, at least for her character, my character, that she might know what this bird is.
Okay, Skank,
this is
how
the
about
one
you?
time.
Go ahead, huh?
Yeah.
I was going to say this is the one time I'm going to roll a low knowledge check. But
Yeah,
that's okay.
why? Yeah. You rolled high when it mattered. I'm going to say that Skink probably has like middling knowledge of birds. They like maybe knows a couple weird species by accident, but has never like sought out specific bird knowledge. Is, interested in any creature. Certainly has an interest in creatures, but certainly has never bothered to learn how to identify by feather alone.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do. If one of you would like to make this knowledge check, we're going to set it at a 9. If both of you would like to do it, we'll add them together, and the result has got to beat we'll say 16. It's a little bit better odds collaborating.
Let's combine. And
I just rolled a nat 12.
Are you kidding me?
Every time.
Every time!
Skank, you might as well stack it on there, Skank, and just see what happens. But
I'm rolling in the yogurt cup.
then you too can contribute.
I wish you could see the one. I wish you could see it.
Seriously?
So what is everyone's knowledge?
+3, so I'm a 15 on my own.
I'm also a +3, so...
Okay, so you've definitely cleared it. Farah, you can take a fate point.
Yes.
Or explode it if you want, but I don't know why you would.
I'm not gonna.
No. So, all right. This is going to be a storytelling moment. We know, as players around the virtual table here, that you guys have communally beaten this check.
Yeah.
But from a dialogue perspective, I want you guys to show me what a 1 combining with a 12 comes together to get the right answer with. I'm just real curious.
Okay. Oh, can I go first? Can I go first?
I was going to say
I felt it.
We say our thing at the same time, but yours is like way off base, and mine's like really in depth.
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
So Skeek's looking at it, I was like, are we even sure this is from a bird? This could have been from anywhere.
And at the same time, Farah's like, I know exactly what bird that belongs to.
It's a giant owl feather.
Whoa.
Farah says, it's a giant owl feather, obviously.
And Skeek is like, wow. like truly astounded that you know this. And Skeek was ready to believe this could have been a leaf. This could have been a leaf off of a tree.
I feel like with a nat 12, like, Farah goes... I almost said Farah, not Akatar. I'm sorry, y'all.
We're not an Akatar.
Farah.
Although you could run Akatar in Relict, because that's how flexible the system is.
It's true. It's true.
I gotta stop doing cuts to sales pitches. I'll knock it off.
Anyway, Farah, I think, would also like rattle off several facts. She'd be like, yeah, giant owls are nocturnal and they hunt small rodents typically. In Relict, honey, do they have any magical ability?
Not intrinsically, however, they are considered as significant or spiritual creatures in a number of different faiths, particularly in northern latitudes, and their feathers and other components are occasionally used as magical reagents in different alchemical and magical, like thaumaturgical practices.
Okay, so Farah, I'm gonna get it. Rattles all of that off. At the same time, Skink is like, this isn't from a bird.
I was like, yeah, I think I saw a tree that has these exact leaves.
I love it.
As you guys are discussing this, Pip perches on one of your arms and kind of like takes the feather back. And then we'll say he hops over to Farah's hood and sort of nestles down in there and like tucks the feather in.
Did Pip have relations with a giant owl?
Mother. No.
And then Skeek goes,
fair question.
Did it try to do something to you? Did you have to fight it?
New friend, mother.
New friend.
Aww.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Pip make friend.
Cute. I love that for you, Pip, and I'm gonna pet Pip a little bit.
Aww. I wonder if it was a wild owl or if it's somebody's owl.
Good question.
Pip kind of seems to be considering this and has no idea how to answer.
Okay. Does Farah know if they're ever, kept as pets?
Well, you did get another Farah level knowledge check. So. We'll say that it would be... This is an animal that's generally intelligent enough that keeping it as a domesticated pet would be very hard. It would be more like, I have a friend.
So I think Farah would say, it is probably wild.
Yeah.
It's a wild friend of Pip's.
It's a little bit like having a pet dolphin. It's just
Wow.
Is it?
You can technically do it, sort of.
Yeah.
Not really.
It raises some questions.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, so Pip is back. The trio is reunited.
Well.
And now, I thought we also came up here to discuss whether or not we were going to be honest about the true nature of our expedition. And it seems like Tula doesn't know anything about what has been happening in these parts. So she also seems very blunt. So I don't know if we should say anything to her, but Orlo was willing to go on the quest for Lady Scythe before. So maybe it would be okay to tell him, but I think maybe it's a matter of when we tell him. Do we tell him before we leave or once we're in the middle of nowhere?
I think we run the risk of being abandoned by our group. I think it's a risk not to be transparent, especially since he's gone out for this expedition before, so he knows what it entails. He knows that it entails. He needs to be able to choose, I think, because someone died due to this.
Yes. But I do think maybe he would understand our need for
discretion.
Secrecy, for discretion. Yeah. I think he would understand why we would be nervous to tell people what we were doing since someone was killed.
Yeah.
For going on this exact quest earlier.
I agree.
Okay.
He might know whether or not it's a good idea to tell his sister.
Oh yeah. Okay. So we'll have to convene with Orlo. Can we get Orlo up here? Is there a way for us to call him? Will Pip go get him?
Don't you have that spell where do you have to see
Whisper.
The person? You do.
Right. God, I'm just running on Nat 1 energy here right now.
I need that on a shirt. I'm running on Nat 1 energy right now.
Nat 1 energy.
Oh my god.
I really do need that on a shirt. I would wear that to work every day.
We gotta make some shirt notes.
Yeah. Let's start taking notes, people. Running on empty. Okay. So, that's a great idea. So, we have to find a way to get Orlo alone. Either tonight or tomorrow morning. I'm assuming that Tula will tell him everything. You know what? I can't assume anything. I don't know anything about their relationship. Just because they're related doesn't mean they talk. I know plenty of brothers and sisters who are hostile to each other. Yeah. So, maybe now that the two of us are on the same page, maybe we should venture out.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. We can see if we can track him down.
Okay.
You could use Whisper to communicate with him without her knowing.
I believe Whisper, since you know him personally, you can also use it through walls.
I was just gonna double check. I almost was gonna go look it up to read it, but if you remember,
what's the range?
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna look up.
Maybe we should just double check the rules real quick.
Yeah, it's really embarrassing to get my own rules wrong, isn't it? Range is 50 feet.
Okay. But like inside of the building.
For every extra mana you use to cast it, you add another 50 feet. So technically, if Skink wants to sit here and just dump her whole resource pool for a minute into something, you can communicate with someone like within a couple hundred. I don't know how much mana you have, but you can do the math.
Yeah.
I
think I could at least just for within 100 feet just sense out the building and see if Orlo is here.
Yeah, how much total mana do you have?
My capacity is 10.
Yeah, so you can pump this thing if you so choose up to 500 feet. And just, Orlo, so you can just cast a whisper to Orlo within 500 feet, and if he's there, he'll hear it.
Okay. But 500 feet is big.
It's a very big radius. I think there is... Yeah, I mean, we're talking about more than a football field. That's 300, right? So like a football field and a half.
Yeah, so I would say like I don't even need to do that much. I'm just gonna pump it to like 100 feet and see just like just to cast out the feelers and be like, hey, Orlo, are you in the midwinter sun? Just gonna like throw that out there and see if it pings back anywhere, like a bat with echolocation.
Can he respond to you?
No. So the text of this spell does not give them a way to respond unless they also have whisper. So what I'm gonna say, Skink, at this moment, you cast up to 100 feet. Mm-hmm. So let's go ahead and give me a knowledge check, and it's gonna be a simple 6.
Okay.
To see if you know if the spell worked or not, because there's a chance where you're just shouting into the void.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I did a little roll over here to see if Orlo was, at his hotel.
Well, it's 2 + 3, so I get 5.
What'd I say, a 5 or a 6?
You said 6. Well, you said roll 6. I don't remember what you said anymore.
He's at 6. It was 6. You needed 6 total.
Okay.
You needed a 6. So you don't know. Yeah. You cast the spell works. You have
okay.
No clue if Orlo was within.
But let me like amend it. So Skink should know how to do this. It's not her fault that I'm
that's
an
fair.
Idiot. So Skink is gonna send out this message, not knowing if it worked, to say, Orlo, if you're in the midwinter sun, meet Skink and Farah in their room. Throwing that out there. Okay, and I'm just gonna like hang around for like 15 minutes and see if anyone shows up.
Okay. In the meantime, is there anything else you guys are doing? The answer can be no. I just want to.
What time is it again?
How long does it take?
It's kind of the end of the day now, right?
Yeah.
How long does it take to prepare my rune tablet?
That's a great question. I believe that would come under the skills for scribing a rune. And I think it's only a couple of minutes per enchantment slot. So you could do that in the meantime for sure. Or at least get started on it.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to talk to Skink about, maybe I don't actually make the rune, but I talk to her about what kind of rune we might want to have ready for our adventure. I have an alarm rune, a trigger rune, which can be used to link runes together, a warding rune, which I basically can make a line that's harder for creatures to cross, a denial rune that creates a wall of force. An abjuration rune that creates like an aberration, celestial, fae, fiend, or undead creature. Creates a sphere where they're like slowed down. Mm-hmm. A purgation rune, which I can choose an elemental damage type and it can explode, dealing damage. So like there's damage, there's slowing people down by creating walls or spheres of quicksand or
whoa, quick snow.
Quick snow. The alarm rune I've used before.
You have?
Yeah. Although I think that one is not as helpful. Like I would need to put that somewhere that we left it. So the tablet should be something that's like
something that comes with us. I do love the idea of a ward or a denial to protect us, especially if, you know, we all have to stop at some point. We'll have to sleep. And I know, like, within the party, there might always be someone on watch, but it's going to be really dark. It's going to be hard to see. So having a ward up so that we're harder to attack seems like a really good idea.
I agree.
I do love the idea of explosions, though, and dealing damage. That, like, if something came near us, immediately hurt without us having to do anything.
Right. So I think the denial rune could work
better.
Well, almost like both. It doesn't deal, well, it can deal damage. It designate a line up to 25 feet in length and 5 feet wide. Starting from the room. This rune projects a 25-foot tall wall of force along that line, preventing passage. Creatures must make a might check against my spell check target to pass through the wall, suffering 1d4 kinetic damage times my character level if they do. So here's what's cool about that. It's not explosive, but it can still cause damage, and it works similar to the warding rune. Does that make sense? I think I'm gonna go with that one.
I think that sounds great. And is there any way that you can make it so that when something runs into it, there's a voice that just yells out, "Denied"?
I don't know, GM, am I allowed to do that? Denied.
Rules as written.
No.
Indetermined.
You're gonna have to use whisper at the creature.
Right.
Whisper.
So that
as soon as something happens, they're just gonna hear ringing in their mind, "Denied."
I feel like that should count as like intimidation.
That's incredible.
Yeah, for sure.
I love this.
So the denial rune does take 2 enchantment slots, so just make sure you mark that down when you're tracking your resources and everything. Yep. The warding rune takes only 1 if that affects your choice, but I don't think it should. Just put all the information out there. Okay, so Farah sets to work on this magical tablet that Lady Sive had given her. Once cast, the rune will remain active for 24 hours. Alternatively, you can continue to sustain the mana cost for 24 hours per slot, so it'd be 48 hours for this. If completed, the rune remains active indefinitely and the enchantment slots are restored.
Okay, so what's cool about this is if we can like wedge ourselves into a little crevice, we can take a rest using that rune.
Yes.
Cool.
So the nice thing about the tablet she gave you is you can scribe like 99.9% of it and just leave the last little activation off. So you don't actually have to start that clock yet. We'll say it does still take your enchantment slot. Well, no, because the whole point of this. Do you have the text of the tablet somewhere? I think it doesn't take a slot or something.
I don't know if I saved it.
All right, we'll dig that up. We're not going to worry about it right this second.
Sure.
I have it somewhere, so it's fine.
I have it somewhere too, but hold on. Let me just look.
So the nice thing about the tablet, I believe, is that it saves you a slot. Like it can eat up 1 enchantment slot without it. And you don't have to sit there. Yeah. I
can add 1 rune, no enchanter slot, is what
Perfect.
my note says.
Perfect. There you are.
I haven't used those 2 enchantment slots yet.
No, you haven't. And actually, using it on the tablet itself, you will not use them, period. You would still need to use the mana. So if you sustain that mana deficit for 48 hours, that rune can permanently exist without a clock on it.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Cool.
Yeah, enchanters are cool. You can build a nice little fortress or really complicated like rune machine if you have enough in-game time to sit there and spend mana and just exist at a deficit for a while.
Love that for me.
Yeah. and surely nothing would happen. Okay, so Farah sits and sets to work scribing this rune on this tablet that Lady Scythe had provided her. As you guys are sitting there and kind of having this discussion as that work is happening, you do hear a knock on the door.
And then I think to myself, haha, it worked. And I just look at Farah and I say, I asked for Orlo.
Ah, excellent.
And I go to the door, still suspicious, even though I specifically told someone to come to this room. I open it just the tiniest crack and I look up.
Are you going to slam the door on me again?
And I act like nothing weird has ever happened. No, of course not. And I just like open it all the way.
Do I have to squeeze in there?
Well, it's just that we'd rather have a private conversation.
Could you use whisper to communicate the information?
No, I'll do it. It's fine. And he kind of just he's even a little bit broader than Tula. And he kind of just wedges his way in. And he's very clearly quite uncomfortable, but kind of nudges the door closed with his tail.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
And I put my hands together and I say, thank you for coming up here. We have spoken to your sister, Tula.
As soon as you say that, he just goes,
What's wrong?
I did not intend to send her after you. I apologize for that. She is very goal-oriented.
Hey, I respect that.
I had mentioned that there might be work happening, and I suppose from our discussion, she must have gathered who it was involving and taken the initiative. My apologies.
Oh, no apologies necessary. In fact, we're happy to have the two of you accompany us. But, given Tula's obvious bluntness, I wished to speak to you privately before we set out.
What did she say? Oh no, I'm so sorry.
This has nothing to do with her. It's just that the two of us have invited you on a flake expedition, knowing that you previously went on an expedition that was not specifically for flakes.
Right, we had been pursuing a lead from Miss Scythe.
Right, and one member of your party was murdered for engaging in this quest.
Yes, and you see he's starting to put together what's happening, and he's... Go on.
And then I look at Farah, and just to double check that it's okay, I'm gonna spill the beans.
They're not.
Okay. Lady Scythe has asked us to do the very same quest, but we wish not to be murdered. So, we have agreed to go on this quest, but we would rather everyone believe that we are motivated by monetary reasons, if you catch my drift.
So the flake prospecting expedition is a cover. Yes, I understand what you're driving at. That makes decent sense. I get it.
We wanted to make sure you knew, because I feel like you have a good understanding of the potential consequences, and you deserve to be able to make an informed decision.
I appreciate that. Listen, as far as I'm concerned, a job is a job, so that's fine. It was going to be dangerous either way, if you're coming back with a sack full of flakes, or if we're going off on a quest where other interested parties are already being violent. I'm here to swing an axe at people and make sure we all come home, so that's fine. I do appreciate going in informed. It allows me to be better prepared.
Is Tula someone who can be trusted with this information?
If we give her the explicit instructions that she is not to share certain information, she won't. However, as demonstrated by the events of this evening, it is better to be explicit about what she should and shouldn't do up front.
For the time being, do you think it would be better to just allow her to believe that we are going on a flake expedition?
Are you thinking we wait until we're on the road to tell her?
Yes.
She's your sister. I don't know. Is she someone with explosive moods? Does she get angry if she's not told the truth up front? What sort of person are we dealing with here?
I think she would be most angry if the payday was less than expected.
Oh, well,
okay.
This is Lady Scythe. I think it will be more than expected.
Yeah, honestly, she'll probably bitch at me, but, I don't think she'll care one way or the other. It's not like she was going to dig up flakes.
True.
She did tell us no digging.
I'm not shocked by that, to be honest. It's hell on the low spine.
I believe that.
Yeah.
She also mentioned her spine.
Well, she's got an injury there from when she was younger. It's a whole thing, so she's very protective of it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you were certainly not the one at the bar talking about what you'd been up to, so I trust your discretion on the matter.
Of course. I won't... Lady Scythe's a good payday. It'd be nice to finish the job that we originally set out on. I was overruled in terms of diverting that quest to bring back flakes instead, but what am I going to do? Go on alone? Do we have any idea? I've heard whisperings of the investigation going on. Someone mentioned that there might have been necromancy involved or anything like that.
Oh,
Do
yeah,
we
that's
know?
me.
I had a feeling. I believe I saw you in the common room the other day with a zombie squirrel, so I didn't want to be too...
and then Skeek's like,
I didn't want to be indelicate about
that
it,
was
but...
me? How did everyone know that was me? I was so sneaky about that. Anyway.
I'm very observant. Like, very clearly trying not to hurt your feelings. He goes, Is there a chance we'll be crossing paths with Chester's killers?
I certainly hope.
That's why we're hoping to keep our expedition a secret. Because we're hoping that if it appears as though we are just going for flakes, that no one will be tipped off.
Yeah. I don't know what you were told about the investigation, but none of the flakes were taken. Only Chester was killed.
That much I gathered in talking to my companions. I haven't heard much from the investigation itself, but given that information, it was not a huge intuitive leap to guess that Lady Scythe's expedition might have been the root cause, as opposed, and the flakes a convenient cover.
It does seem to be that way, yes.
Yeah.
I understand and respect your wish to not cross paths with his killer, but I would be lying if I said that part of me wasn't hoping we did.
That is completely fair in, wanting justice for your friend.
Yeah, Skeek looks up like, are you the vengeful type?
I've been known to hold a grudge. I'm a professional.
Skeek smiles like, this is great news.
I won't do anything to jeopardize the tasks that I've been hired to do. I want to be very clear on that. But I'm just saying, if two birds, one stone. You hear Pip go, ah!
Oh, it's Pip's least favorite aphorism.
Sorry.
Farrah reaches behind herself and pats Pip shh,
he's
it's okay. He's
cuddling with his feather. Just sorry, I didn't think about that. He goes, yeah, so right. I guess that's sort of a win-win scenario. Either we don't find them and the mission goes smoothly and fantastic, we all get a nice payday, or we do. And I have some good news to bring back to Cassie.
Yes.
Fine with me.
Excellent. This is such good news.
I don't think it's a terrible idea to keep Tula in the dark for if you're worried about departing discreetly. That's fine. We're going to speak to Lady Sive before we leave, or we can just meet you when you're ready to depart.
We had thought maybe we could have you talk to Lady Sive, and that might be a good time if we're at her house or her townhome, I guess, to talk to Tula. We could debrief her there if we want to do it before we set off.
It would probably be safe enough to just tell her there and then not really let her talk to anyone else until we head out of town, as long as we're ready to do that.
Sure.
Skink is also having second thoughts, like, I don't know if we should go to Lady Sive's house. Like, what, we don't want anyone to think that we're going after anything but flakes. And
True.
If we set out straight from Gallios with a Barith and a sled and just go like straight from there, then everyone totally believe, like any passerby, any witness will know, like, oh yeah, those people who set out for flakes, whatever.
Sure, that's not a bad idea.
What
Orlo,
else
would you be able to...
What else did we need to know from Lady Sive anyway?
I don't know. I think we just wanted maybe her to communicate with Orlo and Tula, maybe talk about their compensation.
Mm-hmm.
I will say this. I will say this.
Okay.
Having worked with Lady Sive in the past, as long as you are amenable to guaranteeing that whatever share, if for some reason she does not wish to offer additional compensation, I suspect she will compensate the two of you well enough if you are willing to give us an appropriate share of that. I will take that as a guarantee, and I also would not be surprised if she was happy to sweeten the pot once we get back with all four of us.
Yeah. At this point, we still have 200 gold, right?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
And he goes...
Go
ahead.
Farah's going to reach into her bag and pull out half, right? It was 200 for both.
For both of you, yeah.
Each of us, yeah.
Oh.
Wait.
She gave you 400 gold walking around money.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Not 200, like, both. 200 each. Like,
Yes.
you have 200,
right.
I have 200. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I'm
So, like,
confident
honestly, if Farah reaches in and grabs, like, 50, Skink would also put up another 50 and say, if you guys want to, if you need, like, some sort of security, some sort of deposit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what Farah was aiming for. So she's pulling out money to give their half of their walking around money.
Yeah.
He takes it. Appreciate that. I do have some equipment that I want to procure before we head out in the morning, and he drops that into his pouch. And he goes, I am confident that there will be enough payment that we will all leave satisfied if we leave Lady Sive happy with our performance. Further, for what it's worth, I think there is very little chance in the brief time I've spent in Osk, a little bit more than you guys, but not too much. From what I've seen, there is very little chance that the four of us leave here tomorrow together and Lady Sive doesn't already know about it. So.
Correct. That's fair. I think that's a good idea. Skink, I think that we need to just leave from the shop.
So should I tell my sister we will meet you at Thin Winter Outfitters after breakfast, or would you like to head there together?
That was my next question, was if you could contact her.
Meet us at Gallios.
I can do that.
Yeah. Yeah. If you can talk to your sister about it, that'd be great, because she right now thinks that we're meeting at Sive's. So.
I'll find whatever room she's shacked up with. I'll take care of her. Could someone open the door?
Do you want me to? I'll do it this time.
Okay.
So Farah's gonna slide around carefully, trying really carefully not to touch you.
Don't spook me, I'll kick you. Kidding, little centaur joke.
She's gonna open the door and do the same thing, except this time she's kind of behind it, she tries to tuck behind the door.
Just hangs off the handle.
So that he has as much space as possible.
All right, backing up. And Orlo departs.
We close the door.
You hear a knock. I'm kidding.
So.
Oh. And I look over at Farah and I was like, what a day.
What a day. What a day. Listen, I actually want to do a little more magic, and I want your opinion again.
Oh.
So I'd like to create a ward item, which means I can create a luck ward, which can kind of like reduce my chance of affliction, I think. And I also could do an ether ward, which can prevent damage. And I could also do a kinetic ward, which is more like prevents me from taking damage as well. It's forceful damage. The ether ward is when you're dealt damage by a spell or a magical ability. It's like a counter spell, is what it reads as.
Were you asking me or are you asking the GM?
She was asking you.
I was asking you.
Oh, okay.
Skink.
Sarah's
asking Skink.
I like zoned out and I was like, Chris will answer this.
Farah's like, all right, I've got enough reagents to do this, that, or the other thing. And Skink's just like, la, 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 la.
I mean, that does fit with our characters.
Yeah, it's Skink was fully thinking about whether or not to go fishing for like a little set of fish bones.
Oh, that's not a bad idea. I don't hate that.
Actually, what was happening?
I love that.
You could probably get them in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Well, exactly. Like, Skanks was like, no, ice fishing is hard. It takes a long time. You gotta cut a hole. And I don't think we have that much time. I do want to go to sleep. I don't want to check. I could set it up and then check it in the morning. Or I could just, like, go get bones from, somewhere else. That's what was going through.
Hey, Farah has a request. Can we go back to the fish fry place?
Oh!
We can ask for bones. And I could get more fried fish.
Okay. And then Skink
It wasn't far from Gallios.
Skink is looking back and was like, did you ask me something important?
Farah is fully used to this at this point in their relationship. So she's like, should I work to prevent damage? I guess that's my 3 options, really.
Prevent damage, cause damage, or...
The luck word specifically, so it reads, when you first roll on the affliction table while wearing this word, roll twice and apply the lowest possible result. Once used, this item is destroyed and crumbles into dust, of course. So it means I can lower the possible affliction.
That
what are the?
Also sounds like a good idea. Bad things keep happening.
I can prevent damage with the other 2, but I think the luck ward might be lucky.
Yeah, we've already got denial rounding up. It's working, and we may as well do something proactive instead of just protective. Okay,
it does require a physical object. I wrote myself a note to create a ward because I feel like I got a physical object. Where is it? Maybe I don't have one. This might be something I try to procure tomorrow.
You can also make... So wards can be as... Sorry. Wards can be as simple as just a piece of paper with like magic runes and everything on it. They're basically disposable magic items, so they don't have to be anything super elaborate or specific. Some advanced wards that you might learn later, like the enchanter can make like mythical ones that have crazy powers and whatever.
Sure.
Some of those might be like, this can only be created out of a dragon's bone or something. But for basic luck wards and stuff, no.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say, if you Skink's got a necromancer bag, and I was like, what kind of object do you want? Do you want like a little shoulder blade or something? And you know,
you know what? I actually love the idea of using a bone for this. It's fantastic. So I will take specifically a scapula. That is the anatomical word for
absolutely.
Everybody. You all learned something through relict. Okay.
Yeah. Vocabulary. So Skink is just like
casts diction.
Skink ruffles around in the bag and is like, oh yeah, this one's from a raccoon.
I love it. So I have to write a note. Makes ward necklace out of raccoon scapula.
So I will say this is a little bit of game abstraction here, just as a balancing item. Wards require some amount of components and material cost to go into them. So go ahead and subtract 8 gold from your stores to just sort of like, I used magic ink and this, that, and diamond powder and whatever to make this thing.
Yeah,
I just Googled raccoon scapulas.
I did too. I was going to send you a picture, and there's a lady
pretty.
There's a lady on Etsy who puts their little paw prints on them. It's so cute. I love that.
Wow. There's no way this doesn't wind up on TikTok. Just
okay. So at this point, we each gave 50 gold.
Yeah. I marked mine down. I'm down 150. I gave away my black coin, my like special, credit card to Galileo.
Yeah, they are weirdly well formed.
Don't they look like flower petals?
Yeah.
They're so pretty.
Yeah, I love them.
Lovely. Okay, so we're creating a ward. We've marked off our gold that we've paid to Orlo. Anything else before you guys go to bed? It is relatively late in the evening at this point. I think that Pip has already nested down. The lantern is burning low.
I think it's a good time to go take a rest.
I think it's a good time. Skink feels satisfied having like provided a bone and is gonna dream about bones all night. That's what she's hoping for.
Visions of centaur bones danced in her head.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys bed down for the evening and have a lovely night's sleep. We are, of course, now going to roll for Pip. You guys want to do evens or odds?
Sure.
Okay, who's evens?
I am.
Skank's
Sounds
evens.
good.
It is odds. Pip is nestled in our first duplicate. Pip is snuggled in with his little feather and doesn't seem to want to move this morning. He's sitting in mother. Friend feather.
Aw, friend feather.
Friend feather.
Friend feather.
Breakfast?
Yes.
Mother breakfast?
We should eat well before we set off today.
Mother. Breakfast. Do you guys want to do anything before you head downstairs?
No, but Skink totally knows what she's gonna order.
Lovely. I will point out, Farah, whichever one of you you're giving that ward to, you do have to wear it for 24 hours before it activates. That's how wards work. Yeah.
I was going to keep it, but I guess that's fine.
Oh, if you want to wear it, that's totally fine. You just have to you can't just make a ward to put it on. You've got to attune to it.
Hold on one second. My blood mage allows me to do a sort of healing, with clot. But I also take quite a bit of damage. I think I'm going to wear it myself.
Okay. Did you make the luck ward? Is that what you went with?
I did, yeah.
Okay. So with a luck ward, you're getting an affliction either way, but you can reduce how bad it is, which is nice.
Yep.
Beautiful. Okay, and then let's double check before it comes up. You do have to use your reaction to activate it, so keep that in mind for planning accordingly when you kind of are on the verge of an affliction.
I will write myself a note.
Oh wait, no, not with the luck ward. I apologize. That's only with the ether and the kinetic.
Okay, I was gonna say I didn't read that, but
No, so the luck ward, it's worse in that you're definitely still getting an affliction, but it always works. The ether and the kinetic ward, you can use a reaction to not take damage, so possibly avoid an affliction, but you have to have a reaction.
Sure.
Yeah, so there's
Skink,
that. Okay.
Skink, are you okay that I'm keeping the luck ward?
Yeah.
Since I regularly like basically damage myself so that I can do my magic.
Absolutely. You're my
Hashtag blood
bud. I
mage.
want you to live. I want you to live.
Too funny. Speaking of afflictions, Farah, as you wake up this morning and are getting ready and starting to head down, pack your stuff, get ready to head down for breakfast, you realize you've really kind of shaken off the last lingering little bits of that scuffle at the long hall. You are no longer afflicted with the rattled affliction.
Yay!
Huzzah.
Farah like stretches like real big, like, oh my gosh, I feel pretty good this morning.
Lovely.
I think Skink looks over and says, Farah, you're glowing.
Lovely.
You're so much shinier than you have been the last couple days.
My beautiful iron skin.
Mm-hmm.
As you guys head down the stairs, Pip pops out of Farah's hood and kind of scampers over your shoulder, and then Skink, you feel Pip settle in onto your shoulder for a moment, and he's sort of like crouched in this like ready to pounce position, and you see that he is tracking a fiendling across the room who has just loaded her plate full of food, because the last time you guys were here for breakfast, you told him he's got to take Aurelia's food.
Oh,
It's not Aurelia though, right?
Nope.
I look over at Pip and I was like, not that one. The good one left. But honestly, feel free to take food from anybody else's plate. I don't give a fuck.
He is gone. He is in the air. He hits like 2 plates in a swoop. And before, if someone is like, hey, he just sort of like ducks out a window, like the vents up at the top, so he doesn't circle straight back to you guys.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
And Pip is sort of indisposed for a moment, but seems to be very content with the bacon he's stolen.
Excellent. Skink ignores the buffet and looks for a wait staff member. And Chris has got a sheet of paper.
Okay. You walk over and you find a young, let's say, this will be a young elf man, a young elven boy, probably one of the townsfolk. Hello, miss, how can I help you?
Good morning. Could I trouble the kitchen for a rotisserie chicken?
You want a whole rotisserie chicken?
A whole chicken.
Okay, that won't be included in the buffet. It'll be about 6 copper. Is that all right?
No problem.
Thank you, miss. And he holds his hand out for the copper.
And I give him 7 copper on purpose.
Thank you. He pops the one into his pocket and he goes, "It'll be right out. You're sitting over there?"
Yeah. And I don't really know where I'm sitting, but I like look for where Farah might be, and I guess I see her by the buffet.
Yeah, Farah is loading up.
Right.
Yeah, he disappears back into the kitchen. He's taking your order, and then you guys are loading up on buffet. Farah, as you are piling your plate high with the many continental breakfast options of the Midwinter Sun, you see emerging from that larger sort of like macro-sized common room that Skink had spoken to Orlo in once upon a time. A tall, blonde centaur woman steps into this room and seems to be looking around. Tula is searching for you two.
I'm gonna wave. Hi, Tula.
Ah, hello, Miss Farah. And she walks over and is just absolutely towering over not only your table, but the 2 next to you.
Mm-hmm.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Tula is prepared for expedition.
All right. Did Orlo tell you we're actually gonna just go straight to Galio's? What is it?
Like
What is
the
the show
outfitters,
called?
that outfitter.
Winter Outfitters, yes.
Then Winter Outfitters.
I have been informed of this, yes.
Excellent. Do we need to do anything else before we go over there this morning?
I mean, Skink's like, we're gonna eat. We'll see you there. You know, no rush. Couple hours.
This is good. Good. This is good for Tula. Tula will go to blacksmith. Tula must acquire more weapon.
Oh.
Excellent.
For killing.
Okay.
Indeed.
Skink is thoroughly perplexed with like how to interact with someone like this and is just like mildly uncomfortable the whole time. Like so glad that Tula is coming, but also just like, I don't know what to say to you.
On the flip side, Farah loves it. She thinks these kind of interactions are perfect. She's like, thank you, Tula. I wish you good luck at the blacksmith.
Good. Yes. I will see you later. Goodbye.
Bye.
And she just stomps out. Like fully steps over a booth at one point. Just.
Oh my gosh.
She's got bad AI pathing. Just. You guys enjoy a lovely breakfast. Is there anything you would like to get up to before we head over to Thin Winter Outfitters?
So the reason that Skink ordered a whole rotisserie chicken was so that she could keep all the chicken carcass. Like she's
obviously can
Obviously.
Farah. I'm gonna offer. Do you want help picking that clean? Because I can eat some chicken. All right.
Pip at some point has snuck his way back down from the rafters and appears beside your table.
Excellent.
Mother.
And Farah is just feeding him chicken.
Bone duty. And just going to town.
And Skink is like, you can eat the meat, but leave me the bones, Pip.
The bones, mother.
Yes.
Pip has helped with this chore many times.
We need all of them.
All the bones.
Yeah. This to be nice and intact. And I mean, Skink
he does like an imitation of Skink's voice, just intact.
And Skink's like, yeah, because sometimes it's better when they don't have any heads. I mean, really, it doesn't need to see. It knows. It's attacked enough. We don't care.
Fair.
Yeah. Sometimes it's worse when they have faces.
This is actually the origin of the phrase "chicken with its head cut off" running around.
Yep. And Rubica? Absolutely. That was necromancy. I'm just imagining Skink unleashing a rotisserie chicken on the next bear.
I truly can't wait. And I have a cloth that I take out and I'm like rolling it up so that it doesn't, all the oils don't come off and make everything messy.
Yeah, you can go ahead and add one rotisserie chicken carcass to your bag. That's fine.
Do we need to clean it?
Necromancy's not that picky.
Okay.
I was like, it's gonna, it never looks good. Whether it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
That zombie's gonna smell delicious for like a couple of days.
I was gonna say, I think does Skink just sort of smell like rotting flesh every once in a while?
Yeah, it's like if Skink's not moving, nobody notices, but like at certain angles or
you just get like a whiff of like.
You just get a whiff. Just a whiff
decay.
Of something, something bad.
That bag is less airtight than it could be.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Like, yet another reason why people don't like hanging around Skink or just get a weird vibe. You're standing around someone who smells bad, you just take a couple steps back, Yeah.
Love it.
Delightful. You guys have an uneventful breakfast.
Off we go then.
Off we go then.
Good.
Were you going to stop by Tenner's?
Oh. To make Farah happy? Absolutely.
What? I don't. Okay.
The fish place.
Oh.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I feel so bad now. What I was going to say was, as you come up to Tenner's, you realize that it was notoriously only open one day a week.
Oh
man.
That was the whole thing. Yes, that's right. Oh yeah.
Fine.
I didn't mean to give it that much of a build-up.
Farrah's like dejected. Luckily, she's actually full. Like she was gonna eat it and probably give herself heartburn, but she had enough chicken and whatnot so that she's not really hungry, but she is sad.
It's too bad.
I think I, as Maddie, am a little sad. I like to. It really, the description of it really makes me want fried fish.
But as you stand there dejected in front of Tenors, you are able to look up the road and see two centaurs making their way into Thin Winter Outfitters on the other end of the street.
Perfect.
There is that. But before you do that, Farrah, I do need a precision check from you.
Oh, no. Can it be a knowledge check instead?
Nope.
Okay. That's a 7 plus 1. It's an 8.
Okay. That's it.
Okay. Neat.
So you definitely see Tula and Orlo heading into Thin Winter Outfitters.
Cool. Okay. So let's head to Thin Winter Outfitters. I don't know why that's so hard for me to say.
It's a lot of consonants. Yeah. You guys head over. You walk in this never quite warm interior. You do see Galileo kind of standing off towards the back. There's a door in like the back corner that leads to like the back of the building. Some of the aisles in here are spaced like pretty far apart. Obviously some larger clientele come through here, people hauling a lot of different equipment, whatever. There are some like stable doors on one side of the building. And he kind of waves you guys back. He says, "Oh, good, you're here. Your friends have just arrived. We're going to set up in the back for the Barith. So come on in." And Skink,
Alrighty.
I think you clock immediately Galileo is actually not smoking today.
Yeah. I think Skink was a little worried this time. Like, last time I came here, I got really high. And it's pretty early to be like that. So I think Skink had like held her breath a second, like before going in, like, okay, here we go. And then breathes a sigh of relief when she notices that like the place isn't full of smoke.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He leads you guys into the back, and you see the back is actually set up more like a horse stable. Like it's not open to the elements, maybe more of a barn, but there are a number of stalls and a wide open area that's clearly like covered in different tack and harnesses for hooking up sleds and different equipment and saddles and bridles and all sorts of different stuff in here. This is very much like a working stable post, right? Chained up in the middle of the open area is a Barith. You guys might have seen one or two of these either around town in Osk or on the road on your way to get here. These are these large, low-slung polar bear, walrus, lizard-looking creatures. They look much like a polar bear that is set more scampery close to the ground like an iguana or something, with these big walrus tusks and this long spined furry tail coming off the back. And it's kind of sniffing around and looking all around, looking at you guys. He kind of cocks his head, and there is a large Typhini trainer standing there. A Typhini is a type of wilderkin. It is a tiger person.
I was waiting for you to explain this. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, it's like a tiger folk type person. So large, broad shoulders, standing there. "Hello, you are here to rent old Bessie here."
Oh, Bessie.
Bessie.
I don't like that name. Look at how beautiful she is.
Wow. And so Skink had a bad run-in with a bear before, but is feeling like this one must be tame, right?
Farrah, on the other hand, is immediately delighted. Like you can see it in her eyes. They light up.
All right, here's what
yeah,
we're going to do. There's some safety procedures here.
Okay.
All right, one at a time. We're going to come over here. You're going to introduce yourself to the bear. It does require prolonged eye contact. Very important. I'm going to give you a treat. On my cue, you're going to feed the Barith. Do not feed the Barith before I give you the cue. You do it too early, she's going to identify you as a food source. You're going to identify yourself as an ally. It's crucial.
Noted.
If you mess this up, it will try and eat you. I will not be able to stop it.
Cool.
You understand?
Yeah.
This is a 2-ton animal. Okay.
I want to go first. I
love this character.
All right. Knife hands. Knife hands. Mrs.
Farah.
Farah. Fantastic. Come on over here. All right, you're gonna stand right here on this marker. And Gally's just like, just do what the man says. I stand right here on this marker, and he's got like a little chalk X scrawled in the floor down there. And you see it is like just out of reach of this thing being able to be like, just these big old nostrils flaring as you get close. All right. Now, eye contact.
I stare straight into the bear's eyes. I love her. She's my new favorite. If friend shaped.
Go ahead and make a willpower check for me.
Oh, I love this. I love this so much. That is an 8.
All right. So 8 willpower check. I'm going to write these down for no reason. My penny.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh. No reason. No reason.
I'm going to ask the handler. Can I talk to her?
You can say whatever you want. If she starts talking back, you let me know, because I can sell that.
Hello, little Barrett. Beary the Barrett. Ooh, that can be your name.
Yes.
Skink, what do you think, Beary?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Like a blueberry or a strawberry. Oh, I love her.
So after a moment of just this prolonged eye contact as you're talking to her, he goes, all right, do not break eye contact. Keep it on it. In your left hand, I am going to press into your left hand a meatball. You are going to extend your hand. Keep your palm flat, hold it up. The Barrett will take the meatball from your hand. She will lick your whole... Don't do it yet!
I'm sorry.
Gonna eat your fingers. She will lick your entire arm. Let her. Maintain eye contact. And he presses this wet, gross meatball into your palm.
Oh, it's not even a
nice.
cooked meatball.
All right, do it. Eye contact. Eye contact. Eye contact. Eye contact. Oh, that's a gift. And she does. She just her tongue is like rough and disgusting and freezing cold, and just wraps fully around your arm and slurps this thing back in. And then she kind of sits on her haunches and wags her tail.
Oh my God, I love her.
All right, next up. Move. Keep it moving.
You got this, Skink. You got this.
Okay. Skink watched this happen and watched Farah have no problem whatsoever. And it was like, okay. It already loves Farah, so it won't kill me. So I go up and I hold out my right hand for the meatball, right?
He swats it away and he goes, wait, eye contact. First, eye contact. Very important, eye contact. You gotta maintain eye contact. Okay, maintain eye contact. Make a willpower check for me.
Oh. 7.
Okay.
Oh, wait, I didn't add my willpower.
Oh, you gotta do that.
+2, that's a 9.
9, beautiful.
9.
You feel a strong connection with Beary as you're sitting there staring deep into her little berry eyes.
Mm-hmm.
So as you're doing that, you see the Barrett's eyes start to wander, and her nose starts going. She starts pulling at her chains, and he goes, whoa, Bessie. Do you have any food on you?
And then Skink looks directly into the bear's eyes and says, I know what I smell like. But Beary, guess what? We've got something better. You don't want dead food. You want the meatball. And then...
And he goes, all right, and slaps a meatball into your hand.
And Skink holds out the correct hand this time, holds out the left hand. And Skink doesn't break eye contact and is like, you don't want the bones. You want the meat. And I stick out my little arm to...
Just gobbles your whole hand.
Mhm. and then again, like holding the eye contact, slowly backs away and just keeps whispering, Beary doesn't want the bones. Beary doesn't want the bones.
Pip from your hood, Farah, just Beary doesn't want the bones. Beary doesn't want the bones. So Orlo steps up and she's like, yeah, this might as well happen. He does his thing. He doesn't do amazingly, but he does get through the process. And then Tula steps up and goes, Tula will let creature partially eat hand? Okay. Yes. This is fine. Tula immediately has a rapport with this creature. She walks up.
I love that.
She walks up and Beary just sits on his haunches.
Wow.
It's a her. Beary's a her.
Yeah.
Beary just sits on her haunches.
Thank you.
I also love that maybe the trainer has noticed or hasn't noticed and doesn't care that he introduced the bear as Bessie, and the both of us have just completely ignored this. And
he immediately doesn't care.
Oh, okay, great.
He's like, all right, whatever, you're renting her. Tula walks up to this thing and it sits down. She sits down before she's even done anything. And the trainer's like, all right, we're going to do eye contact. And Tula just reaches out and scruffles its little ears. This is good bear.
It's so great. I love that.
All
I
right.
love it so much.
Well, we're still going to... All right, here's the... And she just like grabs the other meatball and like hands it to him. And he just... Okay, well, you've already paid your fees and we expect you back in roughly, we'll say 2 weeks, plus or minus a couple of days. We understand weather and all that. Thank you very much for renting old Beary here, and I very much hope you all don't die. If you do, I will keep your deposit. Goodbye.
Wow.
And he turns and leaves, and Galileo kind of takes over and goes, great, all right, so,
And then Skink looks over and it was like, were there no directions about how, does the bear take instructions? Do I have to know how to tell it to start and stop?
There's don't worry about that. And he hands you a little pamphlet, and there's just like 6 words on it.
Wow.
They're just like, go, stop. You're like, here's the thing. Once you hook the sled to it, you basically like there's like reins that it has, and like you're mostly making suggestions. Like it's gonna do what it's gonna do, but like it should be fine. You know, if it likes you, it generally it's fine. It's like having a dog.
Okay.
The instructions are vague, but passable.
Can Vera approach Beary? I want to pet her. Scritches. Scritches behind the ears.
Wow.
How big is this thing compared to Farah?
Massive.
It's bigger than Orlo. I mean, like...
Yeah, I envision this, like, teeny tiny, if you will,
you're petting
listeners.
a Toyota. Like...
Yeah. Viewers out there, or not, viewers and listeners out there, like, envision this tiny, like, metalloid, 3-foot creature petting a creature the size of a car. That's happening.
Yeah, like Beary is roughly rhinoceros-sized, like for real world scale. Yeah. Like it's with the tail and everything. It's a little bit, the mass is different, but whatever.
But she's fuzzy.
Yeah,
she's
like
fuzzy.
we're just lucky that Beary thinks we're cute.
Yes. Did the DM write down all your checks? Yes. Yes, he did. Reasons.
No.
Galileo kind of goes, okay, so, and he shows you kind of like how to hook the sled up to Beary's harness and how to take it off, and he gives you some basic instructions on like, all right, these satchels here are for feeding Beary. If you run out, you can always let her go hunt. She may not come back until she's done, but usually they'll come back. If they don't, you're stranded and you either walk home or die, so try and stick to the rations if you can. And he walks you through like all the different rations and tools and everything that are in your equipment that he set up for you, kind of basic survival stuff. And he goes, okay, so here's the thing you've imprinted on the Bareth for now. You can't actually take this thing like traipsing through town. That's why we're on the outskirts here. So if you want to stay in town right now, one of you has to stay here with it, or it causes a lot of problems. Otherwise,
me.
Okay. Otherwise, you're ready to leave whenever.
I mean, I think we were already ready to leave, but if you guys want to do anything, I'll stay with Beary.
Oh, okay. Skink starts doing a mental check. Like, Galileo got all of our stuff ready ahead of time. Like, he made our packs. He got everything ready for a flint mining, flake mining expedition. Mm-hmm. So the packs are set. I mean, he's got 2 packs. We only asked for 2. Orlo and Tula brought whatever they're bringing.
They've got their own stuff.
They've got their own
stuff.
Yeah. They're fine. And we've eaten. We got everything we need. So really, it's like a vibe check. You know, are we good, bro?
Do we hike into the wilderness? Like,
yeah, I'm ready.
Tula is prepared.
Excellent. Orlo?
Now that my first time, let's we can go ahead and do this.
Alrighty.
Okay. Pip!
Mother?
You ready?
Okay, Mother.
Can I get a pop? Okay, now we can go.
You guys set off into the snow and ice north of Osk, heading off into the wilderness towards the Bulwark Mountains.
I just want to say, Skink is going to use Whisper to tell Lady Sive that the party is setting off.
Okay.
Yeah.
So go ahead. Are you gonna just like fully pump how much power you're putting into it?
Yeah. I mean, how far are we from Sive?
I mean, you're across town.
I'm across town.
It's not gonna... 500, is that 500 feet?
Yeah, 500's about as far as you could get it. So it was a pretty good chance she wouldn't be within range of Whisper.
Oh, okay. Then never mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So you guys set off. It's early in the morning, so still dark out here, but the skies are clear. We have this beautiful Aurora Borealis effect happening that Farah, you had previously observed as you set off into the snow and ice. Part of your pack does include a map, and so Orlo kind of reviews it with you guys and reviews Lady Sive's notes and sketches off like the general path of travel and direction. I have some questions for you. Orlo explained it's going to be about 50 miles to the base of the mountains where you're going to have to leave the sled. Mm-hmm. Do you want to set a hard pace to get there faster, but run some risk of like mishap and mayhem? Or are you going to set just a steady pace and potentially take up to an extra day?
I vote steady.
I was going to say steady. I don't want the Bareth to be mad at us on the first day.
Poor Beary. Okay.
Poor Beary.
So you guys set off. The centaurs are able to sort of keep pace with Beary, who lopes along in this crazy, like, just lumbering motion, but seems to be like tongue wagging out, just having the time of her life. The centaurs keep up in like a brisk trot, kind of off to the side. There are portions where the snow is a little bit deeper and they have to slow down. Beary plows through it. It's just like it's a little bit like being on a boat that's like cutting through choppy water sometimes when you're in the more of the drifts and everything. Beary just breaks snowdrifts over her head, and just you guys get showered if you're riding on the sled, I assume.
Yeah.
So you guys clinging onto the sled back there, like with the reins kind of between you, and Pip just sort of flapping in your hood.
I think also for the visual of the sled, Skink isn't even looking where they're going. Like after, like once, maybe for a little bit they were all heading forward, but Skink has decided to sit down and just watch the town recede behind, as they go away.
Farah is like face forward, like, if you've ever seen like a picture of somebody in, I don't know, the tundra, and they have like a fur-lined hood up and a scarf over their face, and it's just like covered in snow. That's what Farah looks like right now.
Like the cross-country skiers, the Olympics, who are just like frozen spit just into
Yeah.
there. Yeah. You guys charge off into the snow and the ice. So traveling at a normal pace, you guys can travel for roughly like 8-hour stints at a time. That allows time to stop and have a break for meals and normal rest, and leave like energy and room for like other activities during the day without any massive penalties to it. If there is anything specifically scene-wise you guys want to run for like what you would have done at lunchtime or anything like that, you can go ahead and stop me. Otherwise, we'll kind of just skip through a couple of segments here as we go to kind of eat up the time.
I just love imagining Farah getting to feed Beary, during the breaks, and that's like all anyone is living for is Farah's joy. Like Farah's just pure, unbridled joy of being with this massive Bareth, and we all just like watch you enjoy that.
Very, very clearly isn't really registering the sled in you guys. Beary is just like, there's like a dog-like energy to this of just like, I get to run, like just going. You do periodically have to kind of stop and check in with Orlo and check in with the map and a compass and everything, and like make sure you're on the right vector. Skink, you watch Osk recede into the distance and like the glittering banks of the frozen river, and Osk, in darkness, the town is simply an array of tiny motes of light that fade further and further into the blue-black of the open tundra until they finally recede into a fine point that is indistinguishable from the glowing borealis above. As the day dawns, you guys stop, you have a meal, you feed Beary, everyone else has their turn. You make sure you check your vectors. There is a little bit, as Orlo explains, there's a risk of drift out here, especially when you're moving at high speeds. The Bareth and foot traffic will just follow the path of least resistance. If the snowdrifts have shifted, if the ice is one way or the other, you tend to wander, so it's important to stop and check in, check your stars, check your map, check your compass, and make sure you're going still the direction you want to go as landmarks kind of fade away. But so far, you all seem to be on the right path until you get to the point the sun comes up, weakly waning throughout the day, and then sets once again, and you continue on for several more hours. You get to a point where Beary is starting to flag slightly. You guys are cold, rattled, tired, and Orlo and Tula even look a little bit bedraggled, and they're like, it's probably time to stop and make camp. Not much around here landmark-wise. Orlo kind of directs you over to a little bit of a holler between, I don't know if it's a holler on the ice, but a holler between like two drifts of snow, like two snowbanks, and he's like, a couple of ways we could do this, a little bit tricky with the Bareth. We could dig a shelter, take a couple hours, or we can just set up the tents. Shelter tends to be a little bit warmer, but obviously a lot more work, so it's up to you.
Farah would like to sleep with Beary.
Oh.
Well, that's aggressively cute.
Skink wants to sleep in a tent.
Okay, we'll go ahead and set up the tents here. That's fine. We'll cluster them on. Orlo kind of helps you guys prepare. You guys are everyone in this party is experienced travelers and like wilderness campers and everything. There's some particular tricks about camping comfortably on the tundra that Orlo kind of helps you guys with. Galio has you paid for the right stuff in terms of like having things to keep yourselves comfortable and warm. There's a very thick lined tent with like multiple layers to its walls and everything that he helps you set up. There's even like ways to sort of like build in a little fire pit between the different tents. Yes, darling?
Farah would like to, if the GM will allow it, heat everyone's water bottle.
Of course.
Oh.
Yeah.
Using my minor enchantment ability.
Minor enchantment, for sure. You do that, and Orlo is immediately like, I am going to put that into my sleep blanket. That's what I'm going to do. And you see the centaurs do have this little, like, it's not a sleeping bag, but it's sort of like a big, thick quilt that they, like, tie around themselves. Cute. And he's like, he kind of tucks that down between two layers. He's like, that's delightful. Love that. And everyone sort of, like, sets up a little ring of shelter. Beary is fully taking up, like, one side of it up against the sled to keep kind of the wind off. Farah, you are welcome to cuddle up against Beary if you want to sort of be a little bit exposed to the elements here, but between him and the fire, or her and the fire, you're going to be pretty fine. Skink,
where does Pip go?
Pip is going in the fucking tent.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah.
Pip is like, absolutely not, mother.
Yeah.
And nestles into the little tent there, and you guys pass a beautiful night underneath the Aurora Borealis, your first night on the tundra. As you bed down to sleep, I need you guys, let's go ahead and do evens or odds. Who wants to be evens?
I'll be evens. Wait, I was evens last time. I'm odds now.
Okay, great.
I'll be evens.
Lovely. So who was evens? Farah?
Yeah.
Farah.
Okay. As sleep takes you, Farah, your mind falls back into this dreaming liminal space. Scenes and memories twisted and broken and fragmented, all sort of morphing between the light and color of the Borealis and those strange patterns that they sort of form without and within around the realm of Rubica, the ley lines, the nexi, the different shapes sort of infect your dreams and seem to morph and twist them and change memories, tweak details, make things just a little bit different. I want you, Farah, to tell me, what was the first time Farah experienced death?
Oh.
I didn't say we were rolling for Pip, kids.
Farah is a gnome of the Iron Clan. I actually think her first experience in death would have influenced her pursuit of becoming a blood mage. Her first experience with death would have been when she's actually fairly young. Like maybe around 7.
Okay.
She would have experienced someone dying. I don't think it would have been anybody close to her, but somebody in the community of the Iron Clan, dying from a really nasty, like, bloody wound. So, like, think like old farm accident wounds where people would like chop their arm off or something. And I think, you know, at the impressionable age of 7, she has the thought of like, well, if I could control the blood, I can control the death.
Farah, 7 years old, you are sitting on the floor of your family's home. Does Farah have any siblings?
She's got one. No. She's got one older brother and 2 younger sisters.
Okay. Your older brother bursts into the room. Where's mother?
I don't know.
He runs off into the back. You hear him shouting and screaming. Your mother and father both rush out with your older brother in tow. One of your younger sisters comes up behind. She says, Farah, what are we supposed to do? Come on.
I don't know what to do.
You look outside and you see a number of other gnomes from the Iron Tribe have gathered around and are bearing a stretcher towards your parents' home. On it, one of your neighbors is collapsed and bleeding and kind of screaming and writhing in pain. Your mother turns to you, says, girls, stay inside, please. You don't need to see this. Your brother, however, runs over and goes, Farah, we're going to need everyone's help today. I need you to go get clean sheets, clean linens, tear them up into strips like I showed you, and start boiling water. Can you do that?
I think so.
Okay. Go now. Go get me if you need help, but I need you to handle this, okay?
Okay.
He runs off.
She's chanting in her head, clean water, boil water, sheets, clean sheets, boil water, clean sheets, boil water, clean sheets, boil water.
Farah runs off and stokes the family stove. It's always kind of running a little bit, especially this time of year. You put a pot on, you get the water going, and start ripping sheets. Your little sisters, even though we're told to go into the back, come back out and start to help you tear the sheets into thin, long strips. Soon you have a short pile there, and someone shouts from the other room, Farah!
What?
Where are those sheets? We need the water!
We're coming!
You run back in, you find a man, the neighbor you've known your whole life, is sitting there bleeding profusely. The blood is dripping down the side of your bed. They've put him in there in your bed where you sleep because it was the closest to the door. Your mother, the town healer, is rushing to help treat him. I think at this moment, Farah has a realization where it wasn't fast enough. No one was fast enough. This man was dead before he got here. He just hasn't caught up with him yet. You deliver the water, you deliver the sheets. I think there's a moment, too, where you realize that all of the adults in here know it. They're still doing it, they're still moving with urgency, they're still doing what they're supposed to do. But you see this hollowness in their gazes where they know.
Is he gonna die, Mama?
You realize your mother has kind of like forgotten that you were in the room and turns and and then your brother quickly turns and ushers you out of the room. You never receive the answer directly from your parents. But in a way, that was already the answer. Skink.
Thanks for a traumatizing dream, GM.
My Skink's first encounter with death. Oh.
Yep.
Totally different.
Totally different. Skink. It's so fucking cold up here.
Yeah.
It's so fucking cold as you descend from the clouds, the buzzing drone of wings all around you, this constant... The Megabella are struggling to push through these storms in the winter. These are not creatures that are made for this climate. You told them that. Every night in your company told them that as you dive towards the tundra below, and yet the carnage unfolding before you is obvious for all to see. It may not matter. The giant bees won't last a full winter here, but you have a damning realization as you dive into the melee, as arrows and magic pierce your shield and scratch your armor as you are thrown from your mount. It won't matter because they were never going to make it that far to begin with. You hit the ground. The bee that you have raised from a calf, from a drone, is dead, slain before you. A 6-armed monstrosity raises up out of the snow and tundra and cleaves 2 men asunder in front of you. You raise your sword, you scream for beacon, you charge into combat. You both awaken, cuddled against Beary, the centaurs snoring in their tent off to one side. And for the fleeting, faintest moment, as you look up into the morning borealis above you, you see onyx black eyes shot through with veins of violet. And that is where we are going to end episode 8 of the Nyx Archive. I have been your Game Master, C.D. Corrigan. I am joined as always by the lovely Farah.
Played by Maddie.
And of course, the Goblin Necromancer Skink.
What the hell?
You're out of the town now, kiddies.
Love that dream. Very exciting.
Yeah.
What?
Some good stuff.
Neat.
We are off into it, and we are going to talk about that on the Day's End Talkback After Show, which is available to all of our patrons. You're going to be one of them, right? For as little as $1, you can support us. For as little as $3, you can get access to the after show, and we have tiers going up to shout-outs at the end of the episode, which I would do right now if anyone has signed up for that yet, but we just launched the Patreon, so probably going to be a minute. And you can also, of course, get early access to next week's episode. What are you doing? Go do that. But that's all for us here tonight. Wherever you are in space and time, bye.